What's up, guys and gals? Welcome to the Nerd Castle for Weekly Indie Newcomer, the Friday series where we hang out for a little bit and play an indie game that's been picking at my brain over the course of the last week or so. This week, I wasn't planning on doing Deadnaut, but the game that I was going to do, I wasn't familiar enough with it yet, and so I didn't really want to do a preview/impressions video on it because I felt like it would be unfair to the game because I felt like I had rushed it. So Deadnaut's a game that I've been playing over the last couple weeks that I do like very, very much, and in fact, I'll probably do an LP on it. I already filmed the first episode, which was me making our crew. So honestly, you're getting a little sneak peek in with this episode. I will be playing the crew in this one that we'll probably be playing in the LP when I get around to filming it. If you haven't heard of Deadnaut, it's the newest game by Screwfly, the company that did Zafehouse Diaries. And so if you're familiar with the company, they make a lot of weird games. They're kind of like W.I.N Studios, where all of their games are kind of weird and very sort of conceptual. Deadnaut is the exact same way. Deadnaut is currently... well, and always, I guess it's not current, it's not like it's going to change, but anyways, Deadnaut is a game in which you take control of salvage marines who are going on board derelict spacecraft to loot knowledge and then auction it off to the highest bidder. The storyline of the game is essentially that humanity has reached the stars, but we did it way later than everybody else, and by the time we get there, space is basically a big graveyard, and we have no idea what killed all these other species, but essentially, we want their technology so that we can continue killing each other efficiently would be my best guess, but we want their technology, and that's what the Deadnauts do. They go on board ships, they recover technology, and try to survive. Now, obviously, most of these ships are falling apart, filled with all kinds of crazy aliens, Tyranids, things that want to kill you. The game is essentially, if you took the scene from Aliens with an S, where all the Marines are getting whacked one by one after they go into the compound, and made a game after that one scene, that would be Deadnaut. The game is arranged into a couple of campaigns that you play in a row, and if you survive all 4 campaigns, you win. That's it, and then you start over and play again. It's not likely, though. I don't want to get your hopes up too high. I rarely make it past the second campaign. Like, it's a tough game, and there's a lot of RNG as well. So basically, you could go on board your derelict spacecraft and find that there's like little bugs there that aren't even a threat. And then other times you go on board the first ship with like the newbie gear and it's like these weird psychic guys that like collapse your brains with mind bullets and just all kinds of crazy shit. It gets really, really out of control, believe me. So let's play the game. We should have time. The game is meant to be played in under like 2 hours. Like a full 4 campaign run should take about 2 hours unless you play very, very slowly. I'm kind of balls to the wall. I play this the same way that I play Cataclysm DDA. I just hustle and just like murder everything that gets in my way with just brute force. That's how we solve problems here at the Nerd Castle. New Campaign. Alright, so this is how the game is played. You've got to get used to it. The UI in this game is, like I said, this is a weird game. This is a very, very weird game, and it's hard to explain to people if they haven't played it yet. So let's take a look at the UI. Right now we're jumping through the warp. This is our little viewport that lets us see what's going on. Our ship is currently searching for enemy spacecraft or derelict spacecraft. We'll handle that in just a second. On this side, you'll see our crew. We have Coderella, who is our resident coder, even though I don't know. We'll have to move people's classes around. Sometimes it assigns weird classes to people. We have Buckabarrel, our resident ass-kicking Marine. Paladin, another resident Marine who's mostly going to use shields and things to save people's lives. We have Blippleberry, who is our scanning guy. You know, in the Army Man bucket, where you have like the little brown and the little green Army Men? He's the guy with the radio, so we kind of just keep him in the back and hope that nothing happens to him. And then Daka Duckets. Daka Duckets, she unleashes the Daka for Duckets. That's the whole point. Every single one of these characters has like a personality. I'm not going to go into that right now, but rest assured when I tell you, like, characters have very, very different wants and needs. So as we go through, you'll see that right here, each of these characters has different stats that have been assigned randomly as you play the game. And in fact, it looks like we've gotten very, very, very bad stat rolls, unfortunately. These are good stats right here. So you have Vigor, which is strength and your combat skill. You have Acuity, which is your ability to think and, like, move quickly and, you know, make stuff happen. You have Wits, which is your cognitive ability. You have Grit, which is essentially, like, your charisma. And so you can go through right here, and you can see that I've assigned different stats to everybody based on what their class is supposed to be. However, since I did this like 2 days ago, probably under the influence, let's just make sure. Let's go through and try and make sure that everything's okay. So he's a tech suit. So Coderella has the proper equipment right now. Everybody, their class is decided by what suit they wear. So he's got a tech suit. He's got a small decryptor. He's got a combat knife. No, we don't fight aliens with knives. We are simply just not at that point right now. I admire your ambition, but no, we're not going to fight aliens with knives. And on the belt, you have stims, which are drugs that they use whenever they get stressed. And so you have these drugs that kind of boost up one of these 4 primary stats. You can tell them to use them in combat, but most of the time they just kind of like do them on their own, because when you create their stats, you give them perks and flaws. So I always give them the drug addict trait. So essentially we're essentially a bunch of heroin addicts that are boarding a ship and trying to steal all the loot out of it so we can buy more drugs. Think of it like that. She's got Buck-a-Barrel. What did Buck-a-Barrel do? I had a plan for Buck-a-Barrel. Buck-a-Barrel steals stuff. That's she's kind of like, she's the Creed Bratton of this group. But anyways, she steals stuff. I think she had a job, though. Buck-a-Barrel was supposed to do something. Actually, I think everybody's assigned okay right now. Paladin is going to get converted into a defensive player once we get further. There's a suit right here called a shield suit. Once he levels up a little bit and we get access to more technology, my plan was to turn him into a defensive unit who projected shields onto other people. That is the look of a determined man right there. All these people, he does not look 46. If I look like that when I'm 46, you're playing the game well. I'll leave it like that. All of my kids, she's supposed to be 46 too. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. Anyways, everybody seems to be reasonably well equipped the way that we want them to be, so let's go play the game, shall we? So you press the Q and the E keys to switch between these panels, and yes, this is where you play the game from. Like, seriously, this is the game. There's no, like, zoning into the map or anything. This is it. Everything we're going to be doing in the game is from here. This visor, I'll explain this viewport in just a minute. You can all figure it out probably what's about to happen. But anyways, I'll explain like these switches down here. The game is very interactive and it's very, very immersive. Like seriously, along with the sound effects, this is the kind of game that you should turn off all the lights in your room and just sit there in the dark and play it. And it's so eerie. This game gets really, really creepy sometimes, even though it's very, very minimalist. Like there's not a whole lot of graphics, but it still manages to be fairly creepy. So the first thing we want to do, our campaign, what is our job? Pre-mission briefing. We have found an industrial freighter called the Staraga. Okay. Sensors detect a few potential life forms on board. Structural integrity is low but stable. Some areas of the ship will be inaccessible. Power is distributed primarily to reserves. Internal security priorities signal damping. That's not good. Some energy fluctuations have been detected. Our objective is to get to the bridge and recover the ship's log. Okay, and so on board every ship there's a log. What they use it for, I'm not really sure. What cabin they took it from, I can't really tell you, but it's there. I don't know. I assume that Lincoln is very, very angry about it. So our mission, all of these things right here are randomly generated, and they change the way that we're going to play. So the structural integrity is low but stable. What that means is certain rooms may collapse if we get in fights in them and suck everybody out into space and kill us. Few potential life forms on board. That's actually a good thing because it means we're not fighting like ghosts or like ethereal enemies that can't be hurt with bullets. The fact that we can detect them is actually a very, very good thing for us. It's an industrial freighter. That kind of changes the layout of what it's going to look like. I would expect on an industrial freighter there's probably going to be a lot of really, really large rooms that you have to clear one by one, kind of like, I guess, cargo bays. Power is distributed primarily to reserves. That's actually good. Power can go to security, power can go to networking, and power can go to reserves, as I recall. There's a couple other things it can go to as well. But if power is in reserves, that's actually pretty good because that means I can hack into the power system and I can use the reserve power to do whatever I want. This is actually a boon. This is not so bad. If power was to security, that's a bad thing because it means the security systems are run by an AI, and the more power it has, the more it messes with you while you're in the ship. Yeah, did I mention that? Not only aliens are we trying to defeat inside this ship, its own security system is trying to get rid of us as well. And so we will have electronic digital antibodies trying to remove us the whole time that we're in the ship. Internal security priority is signal damping. That's what these are right here. These are your signals. You'll see down here there's a little button. If you click this, it'll go and reassociate with one of these. You see the little light come on? Audio data, if this signal gets jammed, it means you won't be able to send orders or you won't be able to hear the things that your soldiers are saying, which essentially means that the RTS breaks down and they're on their own until the signal comes back. Video data. If video data goes out, this view hole right here fuzzes out with static and you can't see what's happening. You can still, if you've memorized the area, you could still give orders, but it's iffy. On this side, the data this is how accessible the network is. If the data goes out, it becomes a little bit of a pain in the ass. I mean, this is actually, I would prefer that the data systems go down over everything else, to be honest. Both audio and video are clear and present danger to anybody in your group. Data can be dangerous if there's a security system with like guns and stuff attached to it, but you know what I mean. The ship, no interior scan available. We don't know anything about aliens that might be on board. There might be none, there might be some. The ship belonged to the Macaca. Alright. Well, I don't know what their values were, but anyways, This will give you a little background on the randomly generated aliens that you're running around. They're trustworthy, open, and unwavering. Yeah, there's no way they're gonna make it with humanity. We're gonna rope these people around the block. But anyways, the ship belonged to this race right here. Once we start finding bodies and we start finding crew logs, you can come to this menu right here and read them, but your mission will still be running on this side while you're trying to read. So it creates this very tense situation where sometimes you're trying to figure out what the enemy's weakness is while these guys are shooting all over the place, and it's just like, it can get very, very chaotic and very, very stressful. In fact, that's what I'd say this game's greatest strength is, that it really, really, really makes you feel helpless sometimes. We have threats. We haven't seen any threats, so that's what it is. Communications, this is where you buy more stuff. We send actually communiques back to Earth, and then they send us stuff. Basically, they allow us to download the 3D printer files for the things. We pay money for 3D printer files, and then on our ship, we can then come over to here and we can print out new weaponry. So that's kind of cool. That's fun. There's stats on this side, so you've got stats for each of the characters, their physical health, their mental health. These will all change. This right here determines how well they perform in certain situations. We got really, really terrible rolls on like all of these, so we basically we'll probably die. All of our guys are about to lose all of their stability pretty quickly. Pretty quickly, I think. I don't know. It's not going to be so great. Essentially, if it's on one side, it means that if it's on this side right here, it means that they very, very much like being in this situation. So they like being isolated. They like being around destruction. They like being confined. They like being around death. They like being around combat. You can see here, these are randomly generated by choice. It's a difficulty, essentially. You can choose to have this randomly generate itself, or you can pay points when you make the character to force these to be all like good. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, this is what happens some games. Some games you get really, really bad rolls, and that's just, you have to live with it. You're not dealing with hardened professional soldiers here. You're dealing with people, well, actually, they all have a military career before this, but you'll see that when we build characters in the actual LP. This is the relationship with each other. If they all hate each other, they're not going to cooperate very well, and they get like passive debuffs and things like that. If they're in a good mood with each other, they get passive buffs from working together. These are their attack strengths, and this is actually fairly in-depth, and you have to pay attention to this. Right now, all of our characters focus on ballistic damage because that's what we have. You'll see here, Blippleberry, he actually has detection skills, so he can optically detect things. He's got sound detection. He's got thermal detection. We can get scanners later on that focus on these things depending on what bad guys are around. And then we'll also be swapping the elemental affinity of our weapons once we figure out what the bad guys are too. So for example, like beam weapons that's what we would want to equip if we came up against like ethereal people and stuff like that. Like people that can teleport. You just want to like zip, like cut them in half with a laser since they're going to be harder to hit. Defensively, exact same thing. This is the character's defense against all of these various things. So enemies will be able to hear him and see him. People can hear and see this guy. There's probably, there's that one person in our group who's super stinky and could just be found by scent. I feel bad if I was the guy that could be found by scent. I'd be a little bit upset. Anyways, let's go ahead and breach. You can click this little thing down here too to change between the history of each person and their skills. You can click on this right here to go to their bios, and it'll tell you what buffs and debuffs they have. If you go back, it'll give you that right there. But anyways, let's breach the ship. Is everybody equipped with like things that we want? Let me go through real fast. I actually like shotguns, so I may equip a couple people with shotguns. Like seriously, shotguns are the business in this game. There's also a battle axe. If you're feeling sort of warhammery, you can give people battle axes. But I usually go in with at least one shotgunner. I mean, shotguns are a little spray and pray in this game, so since the structural integrity of this building is low, I'll probably only give one guy a shotgun, but we'll make it work. Let's breach that ship. Okay, Deadnaut's disembarking. Releasing docking clamps. The shuttle is now en route. Do you feel nervous yet? I'd be honest, this job would suck. Why would you ever take this job? I bet they don't tell people what's going to happen. They're just like, oh yeah, you work at a space candy factory, and then they get there like, what do I need this gun for? They're like, oh, it's violent space candy. Sorry. So this part's pretty cool, actually. We could play the game right here. We select people, and we right-click to send them around if we want to. Then, I think there's a number of ways we can rotate things by using this right here. Let's say that you want to orbit stuff. There's also a hotkey around, but it's been a couple days since I played the game last, and I don't do well with hotkeys, so I always forget them. Nubba, thy name is Splattercat. Honestly, you shouldn't need to rotate much. To be fair, I kind of just leave things in their configuration because I get lost and confused. Up here, you will see a couple things. Yeah. So, I'm going back to the shuttle. If I heard that noise the moment I disembarked, we're going back to the shuttle. Let's get all of our warriors up front. Be like, warriors, come to the front. Clink, 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 clink. That's one of my favorite movies, by the way. The Warriors is the shit. This guy right here, you'll see there's a yellow ring around him. That's how much electricity their suit has remaining. Where's my hacker at? Codorella, let's get up in here and we're going to hack this system real quick. And what you can do is this actually takes us into a network view of the ship. This right here is called a watcher. That thing is trouble. What the watcher does is it floats around the ship and tries to revert things back to defaults according to the security profiles that have been given to it by its original masters. So for example, if I were to lock this door right here, the watcher would come back and unlock it because that's just what he does. They're kind of a pain in the ass. Additionally, if you... Where is the thingy here? Oh yeah, comms. There it is right there. So you can see right here, all of your guys will be talking as you go through. It can create some very, very interesting repartee or whatever you want to say. There's banter. And your characters will start to like or hate each other based on like whatever they're doing. I apologize if it feels like I'm explaining a lot in this game, but seriously, this game is really complicated. Like, there's no tutorial, there's a manual. It's going to take you a little while. Since there's nothing to worry about, I'm just going to get off this. Let's have Codorella investigate these bodies. So this is the crew member, Ensign Kraka. Dead alien here, Captain Coravisa. Okay. Let's go ahead and if I were to switch over to the right, you know that area where we could look at the aliens that we found? Here it is. So it looks like Captain Coravisa was killed by incised wounds and we found her curled up in a ball. Ensign Kraka, the wounds are undetermined. Status KIA, so that's sort of a cryptic guy. Anyways, let's go ahead and go back through here. And it's good to remember, these are not human beings. These are like aliens that we've never encountered before. But we want to get our... So you want your scanner in the front because he's the only way you're going to be able to see things before they're on top of you. Codorella is actually going to stay here in the back, and I'm going to have Codorella just hack his way through things as we go through the game. Why Codorella is a dude, it was part of the joke, I guess. It's hard to explain. We can unlock this door. It takes a second, and it's based on some of your skills. We're going down the corridor. Those little arrows next to them, those are buffs and debuffs based on various things. If we were to go to info right now, you can see that they have a buff for cooperative group. They also have a boost from a stable formation, but they're frustrated with Daka Duckets. I don't know what Daka Duckets did. Oh, Daka Duckets has a tank ability, so she draws the enemy's attention. No matter what she does, the enemies seem to know where she is, and by that nature, they know where everybody in the group is as well. Over here, we have a dead body in the hallway. We're going to send Blippleberry out. Actually, Blippleberry's my guy with the scanner. No, radio guy. You don't even have a weapon. Just he's got a pistol, but it's not going to help much. Let's bring Paladin over here. Paladin hates being alone. What you'll see here now is that under Paladin's name, it'll say less stealthy. That's weird. What is he? Like, it was a chilly night or something? Anyways, we found Lieutenant Tula. You hear that? There's an enemy right there. Back up. Paladin, get out of there. Okay. So let's bring the whole group forward. And we know that there's an alien. You see that red blip down here? There's an alien in here. We have to deal with it. Oh, it's a portal. Shoot it. So these portals. Alright, so I know what we're up against right now. So there's a couple different things that can happen right here. There's portals, there's relics, and there's a couple of other things. Since we have portals here, we now know what enemy we're up against. There's these little buggy things that come out of the portals, and apparently the other one jumped back. God, that noise. Alright, so I'm going to leave them here real quick. I'm going to bring... Let's grab Codorella and bring her up. Codorella should be able to work her way. Somebody go back there, buck a barrel, make sure that Codorella gets here. Some of the enemies have like CC and do like Left 4 Dead type stuff where they drag you off into corners and you can't attack until somebody comes and like gets them off of you with like a melee attack. There's a lot of interesting things in this game that you will learn. You will not survive your first playthrough. I warn you now. I'm actually going to swap this over. And you can actually turn on a couple of things too. Right here you have a bunch of switches. If you turn on this locational indicator, it lets you know this 33% right here is how contained the room is. Like the structural integrity of this room, and you kind of want to know that. That's sort of important. And as you shoot guns and get in gunfights and things, the structural integrity goes... What is that? Shoot it. There it is. I don't know what that was, but we killed it. Let's investigate. It looks like we've learned something about the type AS alien. Okay, so let's go to the alien threat here. Oh shit, it's an ethereal manifestation which can pass through objects. Okay, so the bad thing here is that we have physical weapons and we're fighting ghosts. I don't know what you know about ghosts, but you don't cross the streams and they don't get hurt by guns. So apparently we are now space ghostbusters. So we're like... Okay, so you see that right there? Our video signal. See this little meter right here? Our video signal's out. It's already boosted, though. If you take a look at the switch, we're already boosting it, which causes it to passively regenerate. So we just have to ride this out. There's nothing I can do. In the meantime, let's find Codorella. And this is a panel that allows us to hack into the power system. Buck-a-Barrel looks shifty. I'd keep an eye on her. Oh, great. We got people causing problems. There's a lot of reserve power on this circuit. Okay, well, I'm going to turn it up. So there it is. Alright, Codorella, get back in the corner. Get everybody with an actual, like, combat proficiency up into the front. Let's unlock this door. So what I want is for half the group to go down there. Buck-a-Barrel, I need you to look at these bodies. Since the enemy can pass through walls and, like, be anywhere at any time, we have to keep everybody very, very together. That's the dead body of Ensign Ratika. Buck-a-Barrel on this side. What are you doing over here? We have the body of Ensign Okora. We have the dead body of Ensign Gakatra. And we have a personal log. Okay, so we can read that. I'm going to leave everybody in the hallway right now. And let's just hope that nothing goes wrong. What we're going to do now is we're going to look at that communications log to see if we can get an indicator as to what we need to handle. So. Shit. That noise is not good. That means that it's here. We can't see it, but... Man, I don't like dealing with ghosts. Ghosts are really, really hard in this game. So anyways, we've got Coravisa flayed, sliced up, and curled in a ball. Her personal log says, I'm not sure why everyone's so concerned about Croca. She's always been jumpy. These artifacts are a great find. Deep cuts, undetermined. Not sure what's wrong with Nakato. He's talking about locking himself in a room. She said something about the crew starting to go mad. I have no idea what he's talking about. This is for Ratika. Damn, something's going very wrong in here. Incised wounds, contorted posture, undetermined flayed skins and scratch marks on face. We've no choice but to investigate the distress call. Let's hope it's a quiet one this time. So it appears as though this ship answered a distress call and picked up a bunch of relics from maybe like another derelict ship. You saw how long it took us to kill that alien in there, so really fighting the aliens is not an option right now. We found the corpse of Ensign Beachcack. Okay, Beachcack. Incised wounds. God. And all we know right now, as we kill more and more of the enemy, we'll learn more and more about them. Like, we'll learn how to kill them more efficiently and how to fight them more efficiently. So, I know it feels a little hopeless right now, but we'll figure it out. I'm going to leave this right here. Let's have a look back. And I'm going to turn on the network status so that we know where the watchers are. And the power grid. If you look right here, this little ring from the power node is how much power is running through the conduits connected to this node right here. You'll note that I turned this all the way up. That's why the circle right there is full. If I had turned it down, it would be empty and gray. Oh no, we got an alien. Is this hallway holding together? Like, how is this hallway holding together? The hallways in general tend to be pretty safe, so we killed another one. Wait, what's happening right there? Oh, she's being attacked by an invisible one. They can fight us while invisible. Oh no. Okay, go back to biological signs. Is she okay? Oh, Buck-a-Barrel took so much damage. She's gone down from yellow. Or, I'm sorry, from green to yellow. Okay. So, we have to keep this real right now. We have to just, like, get the job done. I don't think this is going to be one that we can fight our way through. We just need to lump up, and we need to move, and hope that there's no security systems to get in the way. We have a hack terminal right here. It sounds like Codorella and Buck-a-Barrel don't like each other, because Codorella is actually antagonizing Buck-a-Barrel right now. We've investigated. We found the body of Ensign Dorado. I do not think that this is the time to stop and look at personal logs, so we're just going to try and move through here as quickly as possible. You'll note that we found 3,000 knowledge right here. Every time we loot a body or we hack something or like we find like a personal log, we gain knowledge which we can sell to other people. Okay, so we need to move. This room is at 54% stability. There's... Let's see here. We found the schematic for the light chemical field, which is basically a shield that protects us from chemical damage. We now have the ability to 3D print that. There are little things around that you can find. We got an enemy right there. Stay on him. Watch the integrity right here. That's the big thing. As that integrity falls lower, this room's going to fall apart. Nope. We got somebody right over here. Oh, right about the time the signal went out, too. Oh, no. Buck-a-Barrel's going down. Run, Buck-a-Barrel. Get out of there. Okay, so Buck-a-Barrel is actually not holding together very well. We'll turn off her... she's got an alarm right there, an EKG alarm. These things could be respawning, too. We might not be killing them. That's the thing you've really got to be worried about right now, is that we might not be able to kill them. However, they do seem to be very, very slow. So, if we can clear this place out, we might be able to stay moving. There's a storeroom over there that has nothing of interest for us. The ship's... the ship's bridge should be up and forward this way, probably right here. We don't have a map right now, but we're losing a character right now. I mean, Buck a Barrel, it seems possible that she might die on this trip. Now, it doesn't matter. If you lose somebody and they die, you can still res them when you get done with the mission. You can clone them, basically. But I prefer to not... it's expensive. Like, it can cost you everything you earned on a run if you have to clone somebody. Oh, no, 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 no. Security system. We lost Buck a Barrel. She's dead. Okay, and Codarella's almost dead, too. So, there's a security system in this room. There's a laser that was firing at us. I don't know if you saw it, but the second we walked into the room, he got blasted. So, what I need is for... close that door right now. Don't get shot closing the door. Okay, so we've got to go around this room, or we need to neutralize the problem. So, I'm going to hack this node real quick. And I gotta wait till the Watcher comes back. And then I need to lock it with a firewall away from this position. So essentially, I need them both to go back this way. Then we make a firewall. Once we make a firewall, we should be okay. So it's over there. Let's take that firewall real fast. Take this one too. Okay, so the security systems are like one of those things that are a little imbalanced right now. There's like no way to deal with them, unfortunately. They basically one-shot you, and if the bridge is right here, we have to go through there. We have no choice. Yeah, there was no door down here, so essentially to get through this room... essentially what I was trying to do, so if we knew where the gun was, we could neutralize it with a hacker. Unfortunately, we don't know where the gun is, and so... we kind of have a blind corner right here that we're getting killed from. And there's not really a whole lot we can do for that. You'll see how the Watchers are bouncing off the firewalls right there. I don't know how we're going to fix this. There's no way around, and our objective is in there. And we're getting attacked by aliens again. Luckily, that one was dumb and came out of stealth super far away from us. Still, keep shooting. All those rooms going to fall apart real soon. We're doing a lot of damage right now. And so we've learned more about the aliens. Let's have a look real fast. Our threats... there's one right there. Shoot it. Get that one. Get it. No, don't go near it. There you go. That's the stuff. Let him have it. Get him dealt with. You see how the circle goes empty from being full? That means that you're killing them. But these are respawning. The relics actually respawn these guys. This room's about to fall apart. So we can't really, like, stay here. Our video signal's going out again, too. It figures. You would try and do a dangerous job with the Tinker Toy version of the tools that we need. Budget cuts. Alright, so let's unlock that door. Step back. We have no way to deal with this gun except to just, like, rush it, because our mission is on the other side. And this is what I'm talking about with RNG. You get one bad turret that's in the back of the room where nobody can see it, nobody can get to it. You can't hack it until you know where it is visually. And so, you're kind of in a catch-22, basically. Damn Watchers keep closing the doors, too. We gotta figure something out. We can't hang out in this room forever. There's no way around, right? Yeah, I think that might be it for us. I don't know. Let's try one more time to see if we can find another way to get around. But you can't saw through doors, and you can't, like, make new holes in walls or anything, because this is like the vacuum of space over here. So, in general, you probably want to keep yourself away from the vacuum of space. It's a bad idea. Losing Codarella to that misclick. I clicked on the door, trying to see if I opened the door I would be able to see the gun, but the gun got him the second he opened the door and vaporized him. So, this is why typically I leave my guy, like, way back here in the first room. But since we have ethereal enemies, we can't do that. They can show up, like, anywhere. Essentially, they can slip around the main vanguard and get us in trouble. No clue how we're probably going to lose would be... I say we're probably done. We have to take this room in order to complete the mission, and the gun can shoot us before we're even... the gun's shooting us before we have visual recognition of it. So, in we go. Shoot it. Yeah, we couldn't destroy the gun in time, I don't think. Oh, we got it. They destroyed the gun. Blippleberry might make it. Oh, the room destabilized. We need Blippleberry to get out of there. You see how the room went red? Its structural integrity's done. So Blippleberry needs to run if Blippleberry wants to be alive. Unfortunately, Blippleberry has to go back through that room in order to survive. And so you can see very quickly how this game like falls apart and gets really, really ugly. Turn off his EKG alarm real fast. We're on the bridge. There's the ship's log. Just like I said, we have to reach an escape hatch now, which could be just about anywhere. If there's an escape hatch, we can make it. It's just we have to find one. So the escape hatches that we know about, I'm probably going to wait for the ghost to come back through here. I can't promise. Blippleberry only has a pistol, which is why Blippleberry, oh my god, there's so many of them. Okay, so we're going to go around. We can't let them get close to us, otherwise they drag you. I think if I can duck this wall right here. Nope, he's getting hit. Run, 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 run. He's not going to make it back through this room. I can virtually promise you. We've got to gamble. Let's go this way. Maybe there's an escape hatch this way. We can't go back through that room. So if there's not a hatch right here, there's not a hatch over here, we lose, basically. Come on, escape hatch. Oh, was there a door on this side? Oh, no. Oh, there's a relic over... There's 2 relics in here. So this is where they respawn from. You see those? Those are relics. You got to watch out for them. They get you in big trouble. I think we're just going to focus on getting the hell out of here right now. I don't think I'm going to try and, like, unlock any more, like, random aliens. But, yeah, this would be a failed campaign. Hate to tell you all, there's an escape hatch right there, but he's failing to notice it. Because his... If you look at his stats... Let's see here. Let's see. His intuition is low. Intuition is how you detect escape hatches. And so, unfortunately, I think he's going to die when we go back through the room that's venting out in the vacuum right now. I don't think he's going to make it. But it's our only option. I guess I could check the other hallway, but if we get caught in the hall by the ghost... Oh, there he goes. He's down. The ghost got us. Alright, well, that's Deadnaut. That is Deadnaut, and this is my piss-poor, terrible way of playing it. The game is a lot of fun, though. You should play it. You should check it out. I like to support games like these because they're very, very unique. They're very, very original, and that's something incredibly rare in gaming nowadays. And so it's $9.99. The game is called Deadnaut. It's made by Screwfly, who made Zafehouse Diaries. If you enjoyed this, I will probably be doing an LP of the game once I get a little bit better at it. But as you can see, this is me with practice. Like, seriously, I've been playing this for like a week, and I'm still doing this poorly, so... the security system was the big issue right there. It was in a blind spot, so we couldn't hack it, and we couldn't run past it. I've actually had that happen a few times, and even really, really well-equipped teams have trouble with that situation, so it's a little bit of an RNG issue. Anyways, I will see you all later. Take care, everybody, and hi-do.